Well, Iran has done it before. Iran has done it again. And Iran seems to be now exuding its dominance over the Strait of Hormuz, because not just it controls 20% of the global oil and gas supply, the very contentious route, but when it comes to global pressure that seems to be now also mounting on President Trump, well, it seems that Iran is fully aware of that. Now, Iran has come out to say that there is no need for any mines to be placed, as Tehran has now been asserting that there should be complete control of power of regional countries, of regional powers themselves, and not of any outsiders. So outsiders not welcome. And as far as the role of Strait of Hormuz is concerned, Iran wants that there must be Gulf security, and that too must be regional. And this is the Strait of Hormuz control message that is now coming in from the Iranian side that has now drawn the red line.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. جمهوری اسلامی ایران با اقتدار کامل ابتکار عمل در منطقه خلیج فارس و آبهای سرزمینی عمان را در دست دارد و بسیار هوشمندانه و مقتدرانه تنگه هرمز را کنترل می‌نماید. لذا به دلیل تسلط و قدرت کافی نیازی به مینگذاری در خلیج فارس نخواهد بود و بنا به ضرورت از هر امکانی برای تأمین امنیت استفاده خواهیم کرد. نیروهای مسلح با تسلط بر دشمنان آمریکایی صهیونیستی با همکاری کشورهای منطقه قادر به تأمین امنیت خلیج فارس می باشند و کشورهای فرامنطقه‌ای حق دخالت در این حوزه را ندارند و من نصر الا من عند الله العزیز الحکیم.
Well, Srinjoy and Rishabh are joining us this morning with the live updates. Good morning to both of you. Srinjoy, for a better understanding, because as far as this conflict is concerned, today, if it is marked to be the 25th day, Iran very well knows that it may not be big in size, it may not have that military prowess that, US has, but it has certain strong points that it knows and identifies. Let me also bring in Mr. Fabian on the broadcast. Mr. Fabian, good morning, sir. What all has happened in the last 24 hours with the statement coming in from President Trump and the counter coming in from the Iranian side, what's your take, sir?
Good morning. My view is that all this is understandable. I had always maintained that President Trump is likely to declare, quote, victory, unquote, in a manner of speaking, and end the confrontation because of the rising political costs, the price of oil, the falling stock market, and so on, and the declining support from the MAGA and all that. Second point is that President Trump has said that he was in touch with a right person, a highly placed Iranian. He won't name the person because he will be killed. Now, the media did not ask him killed by whom, only by Israel. Anyway, third point is that it is quite understandable that Iranians are saying that they were not engaged in any direct consultations. That's also correct, and we have to just come out that Pakistan, Turkey, and Egypt were active. So it is a good development. Now, whether it will actually hold or not, about President Trump, I don't want to predict anything. But it is my view that it is likely to hold, and that we are witnessing a good turning point. And for us in India, it's of great benefit. Otherwise, we would have been in serious trouble in terms of oil, in terms of natural gas, and even helium for MRI. So it's very, very good for us. Let's hope things work out.
Absolutely, because if peace is given a chance here, sir, a lot more countries would be at relief, including India. Thank you very much for your point of view, Mr. Fabian. Well, that is something that what we've been talking about, Srinjoy, how today's day is going to unfold. It's going to be extremely critical and significant to look at that developments.
Yes, there are two things that are often talked about. One, it's easy enough to start a war, but how do you end it? And then even when you win a war, or you say that you won a war, how do you win the peace? And that's much more challenging, particularly in these circumstances, when there are three people involved and when they say different things. It's one thing today to hear what people are saying. It's another thing to see what they are doing. So these next few hours are going to be absolutely crucial. If you hear the silence of the guns, then you know that perhaps there is a tenuous chance of peace. And as Ambassador Fabian said, this is not just good for America and Israel and Iran. It's good for the region. It's good for the Gulf states. It's good for India. It's good for the world. So this is a very crucial day for everybody, because already the phones have been ringing. And Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, has spoken with his counterpart, the American counterpart, Marco Rubio. He's already spoken with his Iranian counterpart, Araghchi. Now, all this is an effort to bring peace to the area, because the Indian position has always been just this.
Yes.
Dialogue, diplomacy, and disengagement.
And
after that,
securing, when it comes to India's energy concern, is also, this is a responsibility that the government of India says that it has undertaken, because right now we need to be united in the face of the crisis. As the Prime Minister talked about the time that the pandemic had taken over the world, but right now the crisis which is imminent, but is there now relief coming in the way? Because India would be, obviously, as far as Srinjoy has been saying, then India's stand has been clear when it comes to dialogue and diplomacy, will be wholeheartedly welcomed at this stage. Please do stay on with us, because when we talk about President Trump and that last statement he made, because according to the timeline that he had set of 48 hours, that would have ended, little after 5 in this morning, Indian Standard Time. But then he said, announcing a halt and a 5-day, pause button, has President Trump blinked first? Now, this signals a possible shift from the confrontation to cautious diplomacy, the pressure that seems to be building, and if both sides are ready for a long sustained war. President Trump hit the pause button on the planned strikes on Iranian energy infrastructure after saying that he held productive talks with Iran. Now, who did he engage with? Well, that is something that he did not specify. Now, Donald Trump in a post has now said he's instructed the U.S. Department of War to postpone all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for at least 5 days.
We are now having really good discussions. They started last night, a little bit, the night before that, and I think they're very good. They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll see. You have to get it done.
Well, shortly after Trump's declaration, Iran has struck a defiant tone, framing the